Yes, I. Yeah. We doing the day. After 2 o'clock in the afternoon here. I was supposed to make this video since yesterday, but had some more important things to do, family business and thing. So anyway, we're there today. And we come for quell some negative talk. You understand? Where this brethren, a dancehall artist, seem to be licking out on a host of African leaders in the past few days. And now we see him, he come like he takes it by Rastafari and Emperor Selassie. And he try to put forward some claims that are unsubstantiated. See? Because it appeared to me that this brethren, I get a lot of him information off of Wikipedia. And he's a man like to talk about tertiary education and all kind of things. But don't you know, brethren, or don't you know, that when he's studying at tertiary level, Wikipedia is not a credible source. So you need to come again. And if you do better research than that. So this brethren, I look out upon the Emperor Haile Selassie I, who was born as Lij Iyasu in Ethiopia. First, before I go into it, I want to put forward some things to highlight some of the great works and some of the great things that the emperor done for his people and for us people as a whole, black people, us displaced Africans. See? And this is why we Rastafari give credence and hail Selassie I. First and foremost, Selassie I, the reason why the Rasta them hail Selassie I and not revere him so much, because when we were colonized in the 1930s, the Jamaicans them who started this Rastafari movement was inspired by the Mau Mau rebels who had them dreadlocks and other Africans, because at the time the Mau Mau was fighting the British. And I'm a fight and them in a grow them here long. And then them look on TV and see a black man being crowned as a king. So when them see that now, it's like the man must say, you talk about 1930s, The man must say, wait, see you have a black king here, and this is the man we for hail. We don't hail no white king or no white queen from England who oppress we. You understand? And it's there it start, and then we start to look for, now Christians come in the Bible, and I tell you about Christ and the coming of Christ as the Messiah. So now the rest of them use the Bible, and I say, because the Bible did say that this Christ, I don't get the scripture here, but I think I'll put it in the link. I'll come back to the Solomonic dynasty. And Emperor Selassie I, Rastafari Makonnen, see, the reason why Ras is a title, see, like Sir or Duke or something like that. No, Prince or Duke, right? Duke. And Tafari was his name at birth, and Makonnen is his father's last name. But upon his coronation, he took the name Haile Selassie I. Alright, so where I say now, the Rasta them a claim now that them a hail Selassie as Christ, because them are pointing at the Bible and I show you that this man will come back to the Solomonic dynasty and they have a Rasta. I'll show you a photo from how much years ago where the black Christ have a resemblance to Selassie. Now, it's a lot of information that we are privy to now that Rastas back then they don't have. So when we come across certain information and we dispel certain things, just like how a lot of us been a follow with parents who were enslaved and who were given Christianity, and I follow Christianity and believe it. Because like me so baptized when me 10 as a youth, Then me realize something was wrong, and then me gone in Islam, and then me realize the same thing. So me take myself from that too. So now, we have to know, the Rastas them now, we're looking for a leader. See? As in like somebody to look up to, for show that we come from great things. So because remember the white people try to make we feel like if we were just slaves, So when a group of people who are Pan-Africanists and a champion the black cause see a man who look like them being crowned king, we all steadfast to that. And because of that now, and all the support that we the Rastafari elders them give to Ethiopia and the emperor The emperor has repaid that. No more ask you a Christian or this bridge no attack. Our ancestors fight wars for the British and other European powers. And even the Yankee them. Them enslave our ancestors. I like me so they come and join British military. But me leave before them could ever send me anyway. Before me even finish them basic training, me take with myself. See, enough of my brethren them still in it. Well, one and two of me brethren, all of them. Because me, enough of them do it still. Right? Some people do it as a means, as a way out, but I felt comfortable at the time because I had the backing of my father to leave it. You understand? Me leave it. Come again. Me go university. Me study. And me earn myself a law degree. Right? I mean I stop there. So anyway now. So we are saying now. Our ancestors and some of us here today fight for the British. I get nothing in return. Our ancestors who were enslaved plant so much sugar and cotton and all sorts of things. And give them so much labor. We not get nothing in return. But yet the slave masters get something back. But Emperor Selassie I promised 200 hectares of land for Rastafarian in 1948 because they supported the Ethiopia during the invasion by the Italian fascists in 1935. So, a man who born out Rasta for hailing Selassie. But look, Selassie say, black people can come home to Africa because a long time Rasta say we need to go back to Africa. No other country not give no land. So Selassie set aside 200 hectares of land in Shashamani for we can go. Man, let me go to Shashamani right now if me want and go live there. You have a whole of brothers and sisters from the islands live at Shashamani in Ethiopia right now. But right now you have some little thing going on with the Umuru people them who have them beef with the emperor. I say that enough of the ones them from the Caribbean who go to Ethiopia and Shashamani, not feed them land and this and that and that. One sort of thing, but the Ethiopian government of today is honoring the promise of the land. See? Enough brethren did down there and sort out them paperwork and Rastafari go to Ethiopia and build school in a Shashamani. Upon the land the emperor promised we. I mean, some of the land was taken because it wasn't being used and all of that. But the emperor did offer this land to the Rastafari and them in 1948 and it is there. Because if a man like me who are Rasta and the brethren from the Caribbean who go to Ethiopia right now, can go to Shashamani, deal with the Rastafari community and get paperwork and you understand? You have people from the Caribbean they do business right now. Emperor Selassie I was the first Pan-Africanist of prominence. See? The man who championed the black man cause, the African cause. You understand? No. This is a man from the Ethiopian nobility. And they fight the black cause. Because you have so much people. A lot of black people them have money. And if you look in Africa today, and even in the Caribbean, a lot of so-called black people. They're not business about them brethren who suffer. But Selassie, see replied, empathize with me, and they said, look yeah, I could come home, man. Since 1948. I just the other day Ghana come and talk about year of return and all sort of things. See? What did the British and them give to we after they were in slavery and all the wars we fight for them? Nothing. See? Alright. Yeah, we're not gonna from the colonizers them. All them religion we are uphold. 400 years, over 400 years of slavery. What we get? So this brethren will come lick out on Rasta. Because some Rasta say Selassie as God, as Jesus Christ. I don't believe in the Jesus Christ thing. See, but I'm a Rasta. I have my reasons why I'm a Rasta. Because there's a group of people that look like me start this movement. And it was all about fighting colonialism and imperialism and injustice. So this is why I say I'm a Rasta. See? Yes, we know we have divisions in a Rasta. You have House of Bobo, House of Bingi, and you have the 12 tribe them. This brethren even play a video with a brethren call himself Peanut Jed. Attack a set of things. Peanut Jed is a man who says some ignorance regarding women. Peanut Jed claims say woman have to give his sex because God give woman thing for hold for him. So him not see that video of Peanut Butter talking foolishness, but no woman can't tell them now I give sex and all type of thing. These are the kind of man this man I put up talk something I try this Rasta. Right? So yes, I say, after you uphold the colonizers and religion, we don't get nothing. But we Haile Emperor Selassie I, all a small group of we, remember the black diaspora is very big, you know. And them give you 200 hectares of land. Make preparations so we can go back there. There is another reason why it is justified that Rasta Haile Selassie. Because Haile Selassie prevented Ethiopia from being colonized and showed black people the way to freedom. Yes, he allowed us black people to return to the African continent. He opened it for we come back. You understand? So, look, we see a great king who fight off the Italian them and stop Ethiopia from being colonized. Every other country in Africa got colonized except Ethiopia. See? Another noble thing that the emperor did. Emperor Selassie I gave his palace in 1963 to become the university. It was first called the Haile Selassie University, and then it was renamed Addis Ababa University in 1974. Selassie gave his palace to that cause, yes, to educate his people. Selassie, Haile Selassie I, Rastafari Makonnen, started the African Union. It was first started as the Organization of African Unity. And the emperor donated the land to start the African Union in 1963 to build a headquarters. Hence the reason why the headquarters of the African Union is in Addis Ababa. And the African heads of state them have a place to meet every year. When the Organization of African Unity was first started, it was started to fight the injustice that African people will face. To get us on a level playing field. But now we have come a long way. Through the help of the Emperor Selassie, donating land to build a headquarters. I him started. Yes. Now, there's this one major thing that I think the emperor could have handled differently. See? In years 1958, 1966, and up to 1973, there was drought in the north of Ethiopia. The Tigray people. And a lot of them starved to death. There was famine. Hundreds of thousands of people died. There's information out there that I find that say the emperor let them starve because they were rebelling against him from the 1930s onwards. And this led to demonstrations by students in 1973. And it was followed by a military coup in April 1974. Right? Now, I think the emperor should have used that opportunity to win them over. But then, the emperor could argue, or people could argue that maybe the emperor didn't want to be a fake person. Because, you have to understand that the Wallo people and the Tigray people is the people who was fighting against him, because we are going to that, See? Because they've been trying to overthrow the emperor in 1928 when he was the regent of Empress Zewditu. Yes. So it's come like he held it against them, and when they had the drought, he never gave them nothing. And he didn't even allow some of them to leave. Some fled to Sudan and stuff like that. And yeah, a lot of them starved, and a lot of people in Ethiopia is against him for that. I met a brethren from Ethiopia some years ago in England. And when I hear this brethren's story, and I asked the brethren his business. And he started to tell me how he ended up in England. Walk, beg ride, stop in other countries in Africa. People put him up. African sisters put him up, give him food, wash him clothes, and then chat again. And he beg ride. Then he up in South Africa, climbing at the port, sneak in a container, them catching him, beat him up, throw him off, and he try till he end up in England. Then come to England as a refugee, brethren said to me, his mother dead, his father dead, he couldn't go back. And he said to me, him not leave England, because England can't tell you when to leave. He decided when he might leave. Since we England, them lock him up and then after 28 days, them release him and give him a little money. And when me hear this brethren story, me used to play football with him, a brethren called Zabri. We should meet him again. Whenever I meet this brethren, I should just give him my money wherever I have. Because I never hear this brethren moan one day yet. And me ask him in business and him tell me. So every time I see him, me should just give him my money. Give him something. Because I know him situation, he can't work and he can't do nothing. You know? So this brethren said to me, him not really know about Selassie, him not really rate him because his people tell you that when them had the famine and them a starve, Selassie been a feed the lion them. And me have to respect that. That's how the brethren said to me. I mean, no man perfect. But I say, as a black man, Selassie, yeah, some shortcomings. Nothing wrong if I highlight a man's shortcomings, you know. You understand? But when you speak of a man's shortcomings with so much venom, and it's like you try to turn people against this man who done a lot of great things for us as a people. And he made some mistakes, yes, and some grave mistakes as well. And I'm sure the being the man he is, because of what I've read about him, you wish he didn't do that. You understand? So I think this is what I think the emperor should have acted differently. But then a man go say, no, I'm not business with them people, they don't like me. And if me give them a chance, them go try to kill me. So me not have no dealings with them. Could it be that the way him a look at it? You understand? See? Also, I read a story where the emperor, one of his daughter that he gave to another member of the Italian nobility to get married to at a young age. Because in them culture, you know, people marry young. Even in Europe, back in the day, they used to marry at a very young age. And his cousin was not treating who married to his daughter was not treating her well. And he didn't take her back. And she ended up dying. And then they had a big falling out over that. But I think the emperor should have taken back his daughter. But then it's for them culture. It's a lot of things me not know. Me not know the whole story. You understand? So now, let's get into the thing now. So this brethren, I come and say, you talk about Lij Iyasu. See? Who was the uncrowned emperor of Ethiopia. He was the grandson of Menelik II. But his father was a rascal, Michael of Wolo, who converted to Christianity from Islam. He was actually born Ras Muhammad Ali. Well, he was born Ras Muhammad Ali because Ras is a title they get after. See? After he done convert to Christianity and he become part of the Ethiopian Nobility, so them give him that title, meaning basically joke, something like that. See? So Michael of Wolo, which was Lij Iyasu's father, was a commander, like I say, and a member of the Ethiopian nobility. See? So this brethren claim now, Iyasu was supposed to be the emperor, and Iyasu auntie, who was Michael's daughter, Empress Zewditu, right? And all them things. And me even go as far as to say, Selassie killed them and all sort of things. But like I say, a lot of things this brethren is saying is not verified. And from my research, is Wikipedia, I find a lot of information and me spitting out. And Wikipedia is not a page that you can quote anything from academically. If you're going to university and study, you cannot quote Wikipedia because a man like me, or you, or anybody out there could go and edit something on Wikipedia. See? And if nobody now contest it, it just steady. Alright? So alright now, we are going to this thing now. So, this Iyasu, see? Lij Iyasu, who was the uncrowned emperor of Ethiopia. May I tell you how he became emperor of Ethiopia? So, when Menelik II was the emperor, see? When Menelik was sick and he was going to die, because them times a patriarchal society I deal with, you know. So we have to remember these things, you know. He did not want to hand down the leadership to his daughter, Zewditu. So he bypass his daughter and give it to Lij Iyasu. Them time Iyasu is a youth, them time. And them grandfather dead. See? So now, Iyasu, let me tell you, go on, man. Because, look at it, it's a funny thing, you know. Iyasu end up now banishing his auntie, Zewditu, to the countryside along with her husband. Because he saw them as a threat. See? So, let me give you a little thing about this. Before Menelik was the Emperor Ioannis. He died in the Battle of Matema. See? Against the Mahdists of Sudan. In the Mahdist War. So Negus Menelik now take over. See? But, like I say, Ioannis IV, with his last breath, said that his son Ras Mengesha was supposed to succeed him. And Menelik say no, kick off and say, nah, that can't happen. Because he could chase his line through his father to the Solomonic dynasty. And he must say now, Ioannis and them are chase it through their mother. You understand? So you see a patriarchal society, you know. So Menelik, well, according to his brethren logic, because I see Selassie not been supposed to get on because he's a distant cousin and all type of thing. Menelik wasn't supposed to be the emperor neither. If you abide by way Ioannis IV wanted, because Ioannis IV wanted his son Ras Mengesha to succeed him. And Menelik fight against it. Menelik II fight against it. So now, which meaning that when Menelik handed down to Lij Iyasu, his grandson, Lij Iyasu not really be supposed to get him neither. You understand? He was supposed to go to Ras Mengesha. Alright, but me jump the gun there. So now, we're going on this now. So Menelik became emperor in 1889. See? So that restored the male direct line of succession to the dynasty. And then Zewditu ended up being the last monarch of direct agnatic descent from the Solomonic dynasty. Selassie I was also linked to the female line. Came after them. Anyway, Menelik died in 1913 and Lij Iyasu was Zewditu's half-sister's son, named Shewarega. See? So Iyasu knew that his grandfather wanted him to take over in 1909 when he was sick. That's what him say. So, like me say, him exile him auntie, Zewditu, to the countryside because Zewditu was loved by her father Menelik's wife. And he has to see that as a threat. So look at this brethren Iyasu now. Guess what him do? Hold on before me jump there. After he banished it to the countryside. And beside him a the man, him a run things, see? So now, because of fears of instability, that might the announcement of the Emperor Menelik's death, would have caused. The cabinet minister them decide they're not gonna publicly proclaim that the emperor died. See? So Lij Iyasu now was never officially proclaimed emperor. It's like as Iyasu before. See? But he was the de facto leader. And this accession was widely accepted. See? But the church and the Ethiopian nobility decide them not gonna crown Iyasu, have the coronation, until he was older. When him take him Holy Communion and get a wife, married to a wife, because he don't assign a wife, because they say it could be insoluble in the eyes of the Orthodox Church. But Iyasu never liked that. Iyasu was a problematic youth. See? And then it's like he started to meet with Muslims and things. And those set of things that the Orthodox Church never liked. Because don't get twisted, just because they are Christian in Ethiopia, they wasn't originally Christian. You know? It's European scary day. So through the church decided that this Iyasu had some sympathies towards Muslim. Because his father was Muslim. You see, his father converted to Christianity. They had problems with Iyasu. But we will get into that, how the thing go with Iyasu. So on 27th of September, them call back his auntie, Zewditu to Addis, 27th of September 1916, and them crown her Empress on the 11th of February 1917. They have the coronation. You understand? So she was crowned Queen of Kings. They will call it Nijesti Nigest, a modification of the King of Kings title, which will be Nagusa Nagest. See? So because when they say Nigos, and Nigos mean king really, you know. So when you see Rastaman say Hail Nigos and them kind of thing, they. And the kingdom of Hail. But however, through a patriarchal society, the Empress Zewditu could not exercise the power herself. She had to do it through her cousin, Rastafari Makonnen, Empress who will later become Emperor Selassie I in 1930. So he was appointed her regent. So everything, although she had the Empress, everything will go through him. You understand? So he was also made the heir apparent to the throne because Zewditu, none of her kids them ever lived to see adulthood. See? And also there was an attempt to remove Rastafari Makonnen in 1928. So, I'll show you a little bit how that go. Because this brethren, I say a set of thing, and him not thought the story straight. How the situation go with how Selassie. Because you say a set of thing now. And it don't make no sense, brethren. You know? So, me I go expand, put my little knowledge on it, and show you how it go. Because a lot of the things this brethren is saying is not true. You understand? Yeah. So, we are going at that. How Selassie end up and become king. But before we go there now, so, this brethren are trying to say how Selassie killed Zewditu, right? Let me get a look at history on that. Empress Zewditu died on the 2nd of April 1930 when she was 53 years old. She died 2 days after her husband, her fourth husband, Ras Gugza Wele, was killed in battle. Because Gugza Wele, you know, you're going to hear how he's dead, you know. He went up and decided to fight to remove Selassie even though his wife was not in agreement with it. And this is how Lij Iyasu and all them get a thing, because Lij Iyasu was horrible to him, auntie to him, try to overthrow him, auntie. Even his father, who was Empress Menen, Emperor Selassie I's wife's grandfather, tried to overthrow Iyasu auntie. So when this brethren come and go on like if Iyasu was, you understand, and the auntie show him enough love still, even when them lock him up. Him not thought the story straight. So this brethren are trying to say how Selassie poison Empress Zewditu. But this claim cannot be substantiated. Because Empress Zewditu was known to suffer from diabetes. And she was also seriously ill with typhoid fever. See? But it was never really agreed universally that this is what killed her. Some people claim that she died from the shock and grief of hearing that her husband died. Ras Gugzi Wale died. But then again, them say that she was never told about the outcome of the battle before her sudden death. And then you have some diplomatic reports from Addis Ababa that claim that the fever-stricken empress, these are their words, was immersed in a large container of frigidly cold holy water to cure her illness. And her body went into shock and she died shortly after. So they claim that could be the killer. But this brethren now is claiming that the emperor poisoned the empress. This cannot be verified, and I think it's ludicrous. Because look here, is Wikipedia this brethren get this information from? You understand? Is Wikipedia I get it from? And we know anybody. Because this brethren like talk about tertiary education, you know. And me hope him go and get some tertiary education. If him do that, him gonna say that you cannot use Wikipedia to verify anything. See? Anyway, moving on now. Let me go back a bit to Eunice the Fourth. Because remember this brethren I say Selassie was a cousin, as a second cousin of Menelik, and I think Menelik was his uncle actually. He should not be king. But Eunice the Fourth, see, was born Lij Iyasu, was crowned by Abuna Atnatayos on 21st of June 1872 in Aksum. And he reigned until 1889. When I tell you, him died in a battle. We mentioned that earlier. And with his last breath, he said he wanted his son Ras Mengesha to succeed him. Now, many let the second fight the claim. Because, like me say already, he might claim he have put on our roots to the Solomonic dynasty. Therefore, this is how Zewditu and Iyasu, I see that their claim was not rightful according to this brethren logic. Because the brethren say, Selassie was just a cousin, so him not should I get the throne. At the same way, many like fight and take it from Johannes the fourth son. And then try pass them down in his family. So this is how the problem come now. So them not should I get them neither. You understand? But anyhow, they end up with it and they end up and lose it, because anybody should know, if you're looking at African history and with monarchies and things, everybody has a fight for power, and there's African history all over the world. But anyway, let's go into this Iyasu brethren. Lij Iyasu. But before we go there now, because this brethren claim say our Selassie killer Iyasu and all sort of things, I want to clear up that. You see? Because me have information where I tell you that in 1928, there was a coup attempt in Ethiopia to try remove the emperor. See? You have a brethren called, my pronunciation might not be too Ethiopian, but the jazz match Balcha Safo. He went to Addis Ababa with a sizable armed force. See? When Tafari Makonnen consolidated his hold over the provinces, many Menelek's appointees refused to abide by the new regulations. Because you have to understand, you know, Selassie been a try reform Ethiopia. But Empress Zewditu was a conservative person. This brethren even claims say Selassie I had slaves. Yes, Ethiopia had slaves, but the emperor been a try reform all these things. And he been a get a fight back from Empress Zewditu and all the people who was loyal to Menelek. But even Menelek been try end with the slavery thing, you know. This is why Ethiopia did not first get accepted into the League of Nations, because they had slavery going on in Ethiopia still. But yet, Haile Selassie the man come and speak up for black people and say until the philosophy which hold one race superior and another inferior is finally and permanently discredited, and until a man, the color of a man's skin is of no more significance than the color of his eyes. It's wow. And Bob Marley take it and make it into a song. So a long time the emperor speak up for we. I'm a Pan-Africanist long time. However, them had slavery going on in Ethiopia. And the emperor was trying to change things, but everything took time. And he was getting some fight back because of the conservatism views, the conservative ways of doing things by Empress Zewditu. And a lot of people was loyal to Menelek. So them didn't want to point by a lot of the views, a lot of the changes that Emperor Selassie was trying to make while he was the regent in waiting. He was the regent for Empress Zewditu and the emperor in waiting. So now anyway, but this brethren now, Balcha Safo, was governor of a place region called Shum. He was rich in coffee in a Sidamo province. See? Let me say a troublesome here. But anyway, the revenues now will come to the central government. Rastafari Makonnen now, Emperor Selassie say, yo, this not look right, you know. Come let the man a thief some of the money. He must say, reflect their accrued profits. So, Tafari Makonnen now, Rastafari Makonnen at the time, recall the man to Addis Ababa, the capital of Ethiopia. Brethren, the man come with a large army. The old man come with an army. See? And he pay homage to Empress Zewditu, but him snub Tafari. See? So on the 18th of February now, in 1928, the man style Tafari Makonnen like just blank the man. See? While Balcha Safo and his personal bodyguard went to Addis Ababa, Tafari Makonnen and Ras Kassa, Haile Dodge, bought off his army and arranged to have him displaced as the Shum of Sidamo province. See? So them take him title from him. So this was done by Biro Waldy Gabriel, who himself was replaced by Desta Damtiu. So even so, you see, this Balcha Safo brethren, what he may do, kind of empower Empress Zewditu politically. And she tried Rastafari Makonnen for treason. Yes, he was trying for the benevolent dealings with Italy, including the 20-year peace accord them signed with Italy, you know. Them trying for that, you know. So they try to bring peace. And them end up and turn around and say, we were trying for treason. So in September now of that year, a group of Polish reactionaries, including some of the courtiers of the Empress, them try to get rid of a Rastafari Mokanen, Haile Selassie. So Zewditu now try to get rid of Selassie I now. You understand? And here how the thing turn out now, no? So Selassie now, when confronted by some of the troops now, them take refuge in the mausoleum where Menelik was buried, the old emperor, which is Zewditu's father. So some enough Rastafari Makoni now, Selassie is khaki clad solely as them. Because Selassie, that's why Rasta love wear khaki clothes, you know. Because Selassie I love in a khaki. Because him solely them always wear khaki. So the man come and them had superior arms. See? And the outcome, them win. But it's not done there. But even when the man them running at the mausoleum, and Selassie I solely them, corner them. See? Some of the palace guard, the personal guard of Zewditu now, come and surround Selassie and them soldier them. But the khaki soldier them for Selassie come now and come around them now. So them have to drop them weapons. So Selassie end up and win the war. See? And the popular support remained with Tafari, and the Empress she relented, she backed down, and on the 7th of October, she was forced to crown Tafari as the Negus. The king. You understand? Because Selassie had the support of the police and the politician them. So she ended up having to crown him early. Some say Selassie kind of style she because he ended up and staying at Addis. And he should have go off in another kingdom as to not disrespect her. Me see them arguments still. You know what I mean? So come let them say he insulted the dignity of the crown. But the Empress husband now, Ras Gugza Welid, she fourth husband. The man decided to lead a rebellion. See? In the Sham of Begemda province. So in the 1930, he raised an army and marched in a Gondar where he was governing. And marched towards Addis Ababa. And Gugzi Wali was met by forces loyal to Negus Tafari and being my emperor now. And he lost the battle and he was killed in action. And then after that now, his wife died on the 2nd of April. So this is where this man come and now, they must say now, they must try to say, Selassie pies the woman. Are you Wikipedia this brethren get this info from? But the same Wikipedia tell you, she had flu and all type of things. I may have other information when we read, when we go and research for online. You find this information all over, in the libraries and things. We are going to it and tell you she had fever and them put you in this cold bath and all type of thing. And could have been the shock. So when you come with an argument that tries to say Selassie pies a woman, you're not sure. But then now after she dead now, Selassie become the emperor outright. And you know all these monarchs from all over the world come to eat from England to France, US, a whole of Europe come over there now. At the coronation of the emperor. See, this is when the Rasta them see a black man get crowned and white people come and pay homage to him and decide adapt the man we are here as we king. You understand? But he never done that. Because now, this is how after that now, when Selassie was crowned now, Lij Iyasu now, they try to start a war too, him and his father. But well, actually that is before all this happened, you know. That was before all this happened. When Iyasu now, they try to start a war. Yes. You understand? Me go touch on that too. That's way before. Because Iyasu get locked up. Hold on, man. Let me tell you about it. Man. You understand? Yes. So now, let me go back a little bit now because this Iyasu this brethren are going about. I say them, he was, he was try to say them kill Iyasu. And I try to say now, oh, the Western people them try to get Ethiopia to fight. But that wasn't so, because Ethiopia, the Western forces, the British and them never wanted Ethiopia in the war. It was the Germans and the Turks wanted Ethiopia to come fight for them, because they had their own motive. So anyway, Lij Iyasu started a war against him auntie, see? Zewditu. I think that was in 1916, somebody. It's after he run away, the auntie and Gugzawali. Anyway, and then she was crowned Empress in 1917. They had the coronation, right? So now the man started a battle now. His father, Michael of Wallo, was a powerful northern leader. And him and Iyasu attempt to regain the throne, but them fail. Them lose. So Iyasu's father now, Michael of Wallo, he was captured at the Battle of Segal. And then parade him through the streets in a handcuff. And then he have to come to the palace in Addis Ababa now. And he had a rock of repentance on his shoulder. For come kiss the Empress Zewditu's shoes to beg for mercy. But you have to remember now, Rastafari Mukani now, his wife was Empress Menem. See? Who was the granddaughter of Michael of Wallo, which was Lij Iyasu's daddy. You understand? So Iyasu was Selassie I's wife's uncle. But out of respect for his wife, Selassie I never go see him wife grandfather get humiliated. Can you understand? So when Iyasu him father get defeated now, and his father get humiliated, Iyasu run and go to a place named Afar. And after years on the run, an ex-general named Dijazmak Gugza Araya Selassie, the son of Zewditu's first husband, said that him auntie, son-in-law, something like that, the auntie, husband, son. Catch him, and then reward him with the title of Ras from his stepmother, who was Empress Zewditu. See? And with the princess Yeshashe work, Yilma, the niece of Tafari Makanen, and as his bride, so them gave him a wife and them gave him a title as Ras. Because him catch Iyasu. So this Iyasu now, after all them wickedness him do your auntie, he banish your auntie, then he try to take the throne from your auntie. But this brethren not taught them thing, Iyasu try to overthrow your auntie. To take back the throne. Because but me I go into you and show you why them take the throne from Iyasu. You have a whole history upon him. The auntie, I cry and say, yo, keep him in the palace now. In the grounds of the palace so she could look after him. And Selassie and some other people say, nah. You understand? Yes. So Rastafari Makanin, and let me tell you, and Fitawari Hapti Giyorgis Dinagdi, right? Them say no. But anyway, Iyasu, but he auntie used to make sure he might live well and eat well. So Iyasu was basically in prison, but in luxury. You understand? And then the problem come now when we touched that already, leading up to the coup attempt in 1928, when Rastafari Mukadena tried modernize Ethiopia. Them was not done with that. Them try hold on to tradition. You understand? So this is how it go. So let me get into Iyasu now, this brethren Iyasu. See? Lij Iyasu. He was deposed after the Orthodox Church feared that he had converted to Islam. Remember this Iyasu, him claimed personal rule at the age of 16, Because if you listen earlier, I tell you, all the politicians, the parliament in Ethiopia, they decide, no, we can't make people know the emperor dead and we have to maintain some stability. And this Iyasu now, he was only 16 at the time. So he decided, nah, he want to rule. So, back in them time, me come across an article, a BBC article, written by a man named Martin Plout. He claimed that this scuppered Germany's plans to drag Ethiopia into World War I because Iyasu did not get the throne. So me got a little history about this now. So I tell you, Yasu, the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, excommunicate Ratu. Yasu. See? And this is why Yasu could not become king. He was never crowned. Because if them throw him out of the church, you can't be Muslim. Or if you're not part of the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, you can't hold the kingship. You can't become a negus. And it's not Selassie do it. It's him auntie that was advised by the Ethiopian Nobility and the Orthodox Church, which she is head of. You understand? But we got a little history about this now. In 1915, a dhow, DHOW, which is a boat with a sail, left the Arabian port of Al-Waj quietly. On board were a group of Germans and Turks, seen? Under the guise of the 4th German Inner Africa Research Expedition. So them flex like if them go on an expedition now. This expedition was led by a German adventurer and archaeologist who was also a personal friend of the German Emperor Kaiser William II. His name was Lij Iyasu. Their aim was to encourage Ethiopia to enter World War I. See? So me I go back now. This brethren, it's the artist who talking thing the most Selassie I say. The British and the French and the British, French, and was it the Italian wanted Ethiopia to come fight for them. That is not true. They wanted Ethiopia to be neutral. It was the Germans and the Turks wanted Ethiopia to fight, and they tried to manipulate Yasu. See? Germany believed that the Suez Canal was Britain's jugular vein, which allowed them to bring in troops and supplies to be brought from Australia, New Zealand, and India. So they had a war plan. This is why they want to bring Ethiopia in the war. So them decided to assault. They had an early assault on the canal, the Suez Canal, by some Turkish and German forces. But that was repelled in early 1915. But the man has stopped there. That was not the last attack. You have to remember, you know, at them time, in 1915, Ethiopia was it was an independent nation and was a major powerhouse in the region. So the German then believed that them can persuade Ethiopia to enter the war. And if them do that, the British and the Allied forces, them, which is Italy and France, will have to leave. You understand? Them can't say, no, look here, if we get Ethiopia in the war now, for attack them, you know, the British and the French and the Italian, them, they're going to have to leave. They're going to have to withdraw from the Suez Canal and all the other fronts, them. See? So the aim of the Germans now was to force the enemy, which is the Italian, the French, and the British, to commit large forces to defend their colonies in the Horn of Africa. So them want to try force them to come defend their colonies in Africa, which would have in turn weakened the European front and relieve the German forces fighting in German East Africa. You see? So now what the German them want to do, them want now bring Ethiopia in the war so Ethiopia can come and start back and all now. And them have to come defend over this. So. And then the German them go run back at Europe now. And run things because, you understand? So now, the man decide, boy, this cause an uprising and insurrection in Sudan. So the man decide now, if them manage now to get this uprising within Sudan now, to topple the British rule and attack the French in Djibouti and Italian Eritrea, because when the Italian they run Eritrea now. It's a country like within the borders, like the Ethiopian them neighbor, they fight for years. See? So the French control Djibouti and the Italian them control Eritrea. The British control Sudan. So them decided them could start the uprising now. So now the German them consider it would be impossible to defend the Italian and French possessions on the shore of the Red Sea without them committing large forces. So them decided, you know what? If them have to come defend this, them have to send a whole heap of man and weapons. See? So they hope that if the Italians if the Ethiopians, this is how the German and the Turkish them hope now. If the Ethiopians were to strike the shores of the Red Sea and the Suez Canal, it would have been highly likely that they would have succeeded. Like they would have be victorious. And Italy and France will have to leave and go defend their fronts in Europe. See? Where they were in need of vital military success of the Central Powers. See? So what am I saying now? If the Ethiopians strike the hand of Africa, the shores of the Red Sea and the Suez Canal, them go win. Either them are go win and mash up the Italian them and the French, and the Italian and the French will end up and leave and go defend them European frontier. Where them badly need, man, them need the manpower. So you understand? Because remember the Central Powers, which was the German and them with the Turks them. Them are the Central Powers. See? They been run things them time there. Yes. So France and Italy would have to go defend that. So now the German them consider now a double threat of uprising in Sudan and Ethiopia and an Ethiopian offensive will pave the way for a successful attack on the canal by the Turks, obviously supported by the German Expeditionary Force. So the German and the Turkish they must consider, yo, if we go suck Italy and Ethiopia into this war, you know, it's a big suck. This is going to land a big blow against the British and them allies, which is Italy and France. And they can't recover from this. If them lose that, yo, it's like Germany and the Turkish, they must say, yo, you see if we get Ethiopia in the wire and Ethiopia mash them up and them lose that canal, them can't recover from that because them can't bring the supplies from India, New Zealand and Australia. And them can't land no more troops here so. So them can't get for defend. They will lose all over here so. Because Germany will control East Africa. So them try to get Iyasu. If you come, you understand this is why them back Iyasu, but Iyasu can't see it because Iyasu a youth. But the mission failed. Because now, the plans that them have now, you ever hear about a man them called Lawrence of Arabia, was similar to the plans them that them used in the Arab uprising against the Ottomans. See? Where they had a revolt in 1916 and the legend of Lawrence of Arabia was created. But anyway, when this Frobenius expedition landed in Eritrea on the 15th of February 1915, them time Eritrea was an Italian colony, was colonized by Italy. See? The Italians who were allied with the British lock him up. Them arrest Frobenius and deport him back to Berlin, Germany. But the German them decide, boy, this is not the end of it, you know. We are come again because we are this thing here. So in June 1915 now, them send a fresh expedition. This time it was led by a man called Solomon Hall. He originated from a Jewish-Polish family with long ties to Ethiopia. But that expedition was intercepted again in Eritrea. And this man and his brethren Solomon Hall, he might try this guy's like an Arab, same way Sanders. See? But the Italian them noticed they have some cans on the foot. And them realize you can't be no Arab. Like you pretend to flex like you Arab. How you can have can on your foot? Kind of white people, them foot just get can easy, you know, and them skin out. You understand? So if foot can up on things. So them realize no, you're not an Arab. So them lock you up now. You understand? The expedition they failed too. But anyhow, them managed to get some documents. This Hall brethren managed to carry some documents to the German mission in Ethiopia in October of 1915. So the German envoy in Addis Ababa, a man called Frederick Wilhelm von Cyborg, he was instructed to do everything possible to convince Ethiopia to enter the war. See? So they ordered him to explain to the Ethiopians that Germany had scored great victories in the war and made lavish promises that will follow. So hear them say now, this is them speech. Them say, I quote this from this article. This is the part of the German speech. He say, now the time has come for Ethiopia to regain the coast of the Red Sea, driving the Italians home, to restore the empire to its ancient size. And then they go on to say, Germany commits herself to recognize any territory which Ethiopia may conquer or occupy in military action against the Allied powers as being her rightful and permanent property and part of the Ethiopian empire after the war. So the German and the Turks must say to Ethiopia, yo, if you come in at the war, you know, any territory you take, from the British and the French and the Italian them. Yours, and you recognize that are yours. You notice in this world today, you have a whole dispute. For example, China try to claim certain territories and Japan say feed them own, and you understand? Some recognize it. It's like some governments recognize Taiwan and some recognize it. So anyway, Lij Iyasu now. Him welcome them plans, yeah. Him say, yeah, man. See? Because the German them know them can't get the Empress Zewditu and Emperor Selassie I in them kind of foolishness there. But Iyasu, because Iyasu was back the throne. Because remember, Iyasu was never crowned, you know. But the German and the talks, them know go on. So them try to tell Iyasu, fight with we, you know. And you get this, you know. Put you back on the throne. And you understand? Any territory, you get a free own. So although Iyasu was the de facto ruler after the death of his grandfather, Emperor Haile II, who died in 1913, after he suffered a stroke in 1909. See? So Iyasu now decided to take claim to the throne. He decided to claim personal rule on the 10th of April 1911 as a 16-year-old youth. I think I made a mistake earlier and say he tried to take claim in 1916, but I misspoke there. It was in 1911 on the 10th of April, Iyasu ended up and claim personal rule. But hear this now. A historian called Harold Marcus. This is what he had to say about Iyasu. I'm going to quote him. He said, the youth was hardly ready to govern. During his adolescence, he had mostly abandoned the classrooms for the capital's bars and brothels. He had a short attention span and lacked political common sense, if not grand vision. I also read some information where they say Iyasu was chewing cat. Cat is this herb that Muslims, well, people in Somalia and them places, mainly Muslims, chew. I remember they was claiming that Iyasu turned Muslim. See? This vision included reaching out to the Muslim people whom his grandfather had conquered during the expansion of Ethiopian rule from the Christian highlands into Muslim lowlands. So come on now, Iyasu now end up and go power the people them who his grandfather did conquer, his grandfather Haile II, who they were Iyasu rule. Iyasu gone over there and power with them, you know. Iyasu now go to school. See? Iyasu now go to school in the bridging. Iyasu now go to school. See? Iyasu go a whole house and a rum bar. So him a drunkard and him love hoes. So him a dunce then. So check this now. Imagine if my grandfather was the emperor. See? And then pass it down to one of my cousin. And him a waste man. Him a drunkard and I go brattle and he dunce and I go to school. You can't have no dunce on the throne. Me would have overthrow him too. Well, emperor and overthrow him. And the people them in the Ethiopian Nobility and the Orthodox Church decide that Iyasu can rule. See? So what I get to the Iyasu too. Because we can't have no dunce on the throne and make look stupid. So this is why the Germans them and the talks them could have joined into them thing and them can't see that. Anyway, this article also claimed that Iyasu spent much of his time outside the capital, touring the Somali and Afar regions of his country. Iyasu was encouraged by the Ottoman envoy to Ethiopia, Ahmad Manza. This brethren Iyasu also took a number of Muslim wives. And then there was rumors that reached Addis Ababa claimed that Iyasu converted to Islam. Some of the scholars them say it's not true. See? Although his ancestors came from Muslim nobility who had converted to Christian. See? But anyway, these scholars come back and say it was clear that Iyasu was very friendly with Muslims, including a long-standing British enemy called Syed Mohammed Abd Allah al-Hassan, known as the Mad Mullah of Somaliland. So his name Syed Mohammed Abd Allah, means slave of Allah. Abd Allah al-Hassan. So Iyasu now, encouraged by the Ottomans, him sent weapons and ammunition to the Syed. The same brethren. See how Iyasu go on? Iyasu started to give them man weapons, you know. This is why them excommunicated from the church. Turkey went further, promising that it will land troops to back the Syed. So this man who Iyasu give weapons to, who was the enemy of the British them. Because remember the British them never want Ethiopia come in and no war, no, unlike with this bridge in a claim, you know. It's the Germans and the Turkish and war join Ethiopia in the war. So by the time 1916 come now, most of the pieces of the puzzle were in place. And Lij Iyasu decided to throw his hat in at the ring with the Ottoman and the German cars. See how the boy throw him a dance, him can't see where going on, you know. Because him not go to school, him a drunkard, him a true cat. You know, like him a crackhead, then him a get high. Cat is a narcotic that people throw and get high. Sometimes I see them have war in Africa, enough of the youth solely as them true cat to get high. So Iyasu a true cat, Iyasu a drink rum, Iyasu a sleep with prostitute and thing, I go a brattel, I go a whole house. Iyasu dance, him now go to school. Iyasu decide him I go fight with them, man. So now, the Turkish did have some success in a place called Gallipoli and in Mesopotamia, in ancient Iraq. So this helped reinforce the view in a Iyasu mind. So Iyasu consider, boy, the man is a bad man, no. The man winning a Mesopotamia and Gallipoli. So in September 1916 now, reports began circulating that this Iyasu now, him give a flag with a red crescent and a quotation from the Quran to some Somali troops. You know the red crescent, like the quarter moon thing that the Muslim people does have on them flag. Like if you look on the Turkish flag or the Pakistan flag, them have that thing there. Yes, Iyasu give an Ethiopian flag with one of them there. And a quotation from the Quran. When Iyasu was supposed to be Christian. You understand? So a historian named Haggai Ehrlich, spelled Haggai, he said, his steps cannot be interpreted other than leading towards an Ethiopia centered on Hara as the capital of an Islamic African empire, allied with Istanbul under his rule. So them look pan and say, yo, how that Iyasu do? Iyasu give Ethiopian flag with a red crescent pan there. Them decide to get with a Iyasu. So them decide to excommunicate Iyasu from the Ethiopian Orthodox Church. So the Ethiopian nobility now and the church, they fear that the future of their nation, because remember Ethiopia was seen as this bastion of Christianity, was at stake, and then decided to act. And the head of the church was persuaded, however reluctantly, to excommunicate Iyasu. See? But however, Britain, France and Italy, them encouraged the Ethiopian elite to act against Iyasu. Because on September 12, 1916, they sent a formal message to the Ethiopian foreign minister saying that Iyasu was supporting the rebellion in Somaliland. And they demanded an explanation. So the British and the French and the Italians say, yo, Iyasu support a rebellion in Somaliland, no? We are going this so. So then, on September 27 now, them depose Iyasu, them excommunicate Iyasu. Iyasu fight back with him choose, but he was defeated and he fled into hiding. So Iyasu fled in 1916 and they never catch him till 5 years later, in 1921, and they lock him up. See? Now Rastafari Makonnen was placed on the throne as regent for his cousin, Empress Zewditu, until he was crowned in 1930. See? Yes, Iyasu died in 1935. Selassie was crowned in 1930 as the emperor. That was his coronation. So, for a man to come and say, Selassie killed Iyasu to take the throne, that now make no sense. See? And then I try to say now, them wanted to draw Iyasu. Sorry, the British and the French and the Italian wanted Ethiopia to come fight for them in a World War I. That was not true. Because with Iyasu out of the way, according to this article, another articles I read, Italy, Britain and France breathed a sigh of relief. And the UK ambassador to Ethiopia, called Wilfred Tessiger, Thagiger, informed the Foreign Office in London. This is what he said, let me quote it. The government is now in the hands of those who are friendly to our cause. The threat that Ethiopia might enter the war was at an end. See? So after Iyasu lose, when he try attack him and the father, because I mentioned that already, when he and the father try, you understand, he and the father try overthrow him auntie and Selassie. And Iyasu went up and fled and then they catch him in 1921. The Turks and the Germans never landed troops from the Red Sea. And then the British them say, no, good, Ethiopia are coming out of war, you know. So this British come and say, England and France and Italy they war Ethiopia come fight for them. That is lies. That is not true. It's the Germans and the Turks wanted the Ethiopia to come fight. So like me say, this notion that Britain wanted Ethiopia to fight and Iyasu didn't want to join World War One is not correct. Iyasu is the one who wanted to go fight. Because Iyasu appeared like he was a dunce. He dunce him now out of school. See, Iyasu wanted to fight alongside the Germans and the Turks. But Iyasu could not see that he was being used. Like me say, he didn't like going to school. He was a dunce. How you going to have a dunce on the throne, brethren? Iyasu was into drinking, visiting whole house and throwing cat. That was Iyasu thing. That's what Iyasu been a deal with. You understand? Iyasu never went to school go learn. How you go? Yo, if you want to be king, you know, if you're supposed to come take over and be emperor, you have to go learn. You have to learn the etiquette. You have to learn how to handle things. Diplomatically, how to be diplomatic. You have to understand politics. Iyasu don't know about them things. That's why them could have used Iyasu and turn him idiot. So when this brethren, me not call him name, this artist, I come and vilify African leaders and Emperor Selassie. Me not say Emperor Selassie was perfect. But like I mentioned before, and me I'll mention them again, all the things that black people achieve. You understand? Because of Emperor Selassie. Selassie gave up his palace in 1963 to house the university renamed Addis Ababa University in 1974. Selassie started the African Union, which was started as the Organization of African Unity. And he even gave land to build the African Union headquarters in 1963. That is where the headquarters in Addis Ababa. See? He prevented Ethiopia from being colonized and showed black people way to freedom. He allowed black people to return to the African continent. Selassie gave 200 hectares of land to the Rastafari brethren them in 1948 for supporting Ethiopia during the invasion of the Italian fascists in 1935. So, Selassie gave we, Rasta, opportunity to come in Ethiopia and live and dwell. What did we ever get from upholding the colonizers' religion? And our ancestors worked for them for so many years. So that's one of the first prominent Pan-Africanists. He was a Pan-Africanist. And he was the man who go and speak up for we. Speak up against racism and the United Nations. Until the philosophy through one race superior and another inferior is finally and permanently discredited and abandoned. And Bob Marley come and put it in a song. So brethren, you need to watch what you say now because I spread misinformation. And it's like I spread it to suit your agenda. I don't know where your agenda be. Because from where you depend on some kind of, I don't know where you deal with it. But as a ras, I can't just sit back and hear you talk them kind of thing there and not say nothing. But I know you have information out there that I can get and share with people who want to go on. See? So what you're saying, and what you're trying to feed people is not accurate because remember man, you could tell one or two people two little things and then people they not go and check nothing. But a man like me, I'm a very intelligent man. You understand, me went to university, I have a law degree. I go and find and make a research and find credible information. Wikipedia is not a credible source, although we could find few facts there. And you call this thing you talk about Selassie I is the Empress Zewditu. No, that's not true. If you're watching it in the video there, when me outline what they claim how Zewditu died. She had diabetes, she had suffered from typhoid fever. They put she in a cold bath. Cold holy water, what they say was frigidly cold. And she died. Them claim she died from shock. But then Wikipedia tries to say they must say Selassie I is not. You don't have no proof. Why am I is not for? And if you don't get the throne anyway, you're just waiting. You understand for it to happen. Zewditu was a sickly woman. She not no picnic, so Selassie was gonna get the throne. Iyasu done wage war with the auntie, so Iyasu was already locked up and out of the way. Iyasu was never gonna get none. So, brethren, when I say no, I don't want to say it's foolishness you talk, but it's some untruths you're talking, some unsubstantiated claims you make. That will suit your agenda. Where you try to say man evil and a whole set of things. That now what should we enough Rasta man. So ease up off a Rasta man. See? Because we know why we hail Selassie. Is the first black king the Rasta them see. And like I say, I comment on one of the posts and say, symbolism is significant, because when you look at the white people, them have a lot of symbols and everything in their likeness dominate our minds. So if a man wants to say Selassie a frame God, if a man decide whoever he wants to say frame God, because me say me a God. Me say my ancestors were gods. So if we want to say God in our image and in our likeness, I don't know wrong with that. Because why are we going to pray to a white God? What does that say about we? Them have a kind of emblem with the white angel. I put have a foot in the neck of the black devil. So not wrong if Rasta see Selassie them God, because the Rasta them, just like how the Christian them turn the Bible upside down. And the white people don't read the Bible, turn it upside down. And they will vilify black people in the Bible and say we are descendants of Ham. And we have to be hewers of wood and water. Servants of servants we shall be. You understand? And the Muslim them come and say the same thing, the Jew them come and say the same thing. Them turn it up. So why Rasta turn it wrong for suit them? So why you have a problem with that, brethren? If the Rasta them turn it around and say Selassie them God, and what? It give them something. It free them. Once you go subscribe, look at it, just like if a man wants to subscribe to Christianity and him get some kind of solace from that and make his film life easier, good for he. But if we as Rasta, and some Rastas decide Selassie them God, and we decide a Rastafari me a deal with, and that a free way. That ideology, I give you something from it. Look as a youth I grew up, you know. You see Rasta walk a road, you know. In them little rags, you know. Rasta stand tall. You have a Rasta man in Jamaica named Changa Changa. Him know wear them kind of clothes, yeah? A banana bush and thing and coconut thing, coconut leaf and thing he take and make clothes. And chat brave and walk tall. Me Rasta when me go all over Europe, people come to me with respect. And the ball of them like you a child look like them. Them not business, yo. You know what the people me see, me no a youth who went to uni in my time. He went and did the bar, he had dreads, he cut the dread. I don't even think he get a job till now. So if you feel you cut the dread and try subscribe to them people are subscribe to, and it's gonna make you get somewhere. Come again, brethren. You know? So this thing where you talk, man, if a man decide to subscribe to Rasta, and see what a man wants to see Selassie as his God, and he get something from it, because you walk tall in a brethren. A man subscribe to, he subscribe to, and he get something out of it. He get confidence with step. If you like, yes man. Like when everybody put up for them king and for them queen, we not look like we. And we have a black man for hold on to. We look like we, dark like we, and say, yes, I come from Africa. A land, Ethiopia, that was never colonized. We can't let go that, man. We have to hold on to that. Because Ethiopia set the example for make we know say, yes, we can do it. The Ethiopia, the benchmark. So ease up off a Rasta, man. We know we are dealing with. Ethiopia will benchmark. And that we are dealing with. See? And for all the things the Rasta been through, and you come now with this Rasta, me feel Rasta take one eye girl, man. Rasta must do something, man. I have some kind of agenda. You understand? Anyway, I didn't leave it, you know. Remember, like, share, subscribe. Because they have to uplift black people. Just like how Rasta they come for uplift black people and fight colonialism and imperialism. And that me they have to do. Uplift black people, spreading positivity. And heal all the great leaders them that come before we. You understand? And everybody. And that we deal with. So remember, subscribe to the page and share it. See? And people, be more. See? Rastafari we are here, man. Ethiopia. Me soon go Shashimani and dwell the two. Be more. Respect.